This is Richard Schram. I'm president and founder of Parasound, and this is an exclusive video for Audio Advisor. I'd like to answer a question that I'm asked frequently, and that is, how do you do it? How does Parasound create such extraordinarily high-performing products at reasonable prices? It's a good question. Let me try and answer it. Product design really depends on experience. There's no substitute for it. I have almost 40 years experience in developing audio component products. The designers that we work with have vast wealth of experience. For example, John Curl, our primary consulting engineer for analog products, arguably the most highly respected analog designer in the world. Experience brings a few things with it in this field. One of them is knowing when you have good design, knowing when something is posing as good design, and knowing what to do with that information. Good design can be practical. We learned a long time ago that just throwing expensive parts at a product doesn't necessarily make it sound better. There is no substitute for design by throwing money at it. We've learned that you don't scrimp on parts where they do make a difference, that you use specific parts that an experienced designer knows make a difference. You could look at the speaker terminals on a JC1 and say these look very, very ordinary, when in fact they have a very different base material and they sound better than the terminals used on our other products, which might look very, very similar and cost about 1/10 as much, as one example. A good designer knows how the parts work. In some cases, a good designer will know how the parts work better than the people who designed the parts. And while that seems like an outrageous statement, if you go into engineering forums and watch John Curl wrestling with engineers from Analog Devices and other companies like that, it's very interesting to see who really knows how music passes through a part, how the electrons recreating music pass through a part. Another element of experience is how to have the products built in a cost-effective way. Parasound has worked with several contract manufacturers, one back to 1982 actually, and we understand their processes. When we design a product, we design it in a way that can be assembled by them, can be manufactured by them, can be tested by them in the most practical way that fits the culture of that company. So rather than trying to force something on a company and then have it have to adapt and raise its price, we try to go with what they know how to do best and take advantage of that. We're not exactly a boutique company, but neither are we a mass production company. We're kind of middle-sized, where we're just large enough to be able to buy parts in large quantities, where we can actually have hard tooling for the metal parts, which is an upfront investment, but it reduces the per unit price when you have to make things by CNC one at a time. And we use some of these economies as well as this practical approach that we take for design and manufacturing. And then, by the way, we have our own team of people who are checking on every phase of production, from the incoming parts quality control to the online checking modules and the finished product. When the product arrives at our warehouse in San Francisco, the products are checked again to make sure that everything is okay. So these are some of the elements that go into why Parasound can be so affordable and yet challenge the most expensive brands in the market for quality and reliability and a lifetime of musical enjoyment. This is Richard Schram, and this has been an exclusive video for Audio Advisor.